Well, we are continuing to follow the latest developments involving the case of Nick and Marilyn Mosby. Hear why their defense team has now written a second letter this week asking the Department of Justice to completely drop the case.
Little children abandoned at the border. An unprecedented number of migrants now being housed in detention centers. Coming up, how the Biden administration is responding to the emergency at the border.
Lots of cloud cover and fog out there. Reduced visibility continues on your Thursday morning. We'll break down when we'll see some clearing coming up on Fox 45 Morning News. Let's roll.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning on this Thursday, March 25th. I'm Patrice Sanders.
I'm Tom Rogers. Foggy but warm start. We have your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes.
Let's get over to meteorologist Justin Myers and see what's going on out there.
Or Justin Chambers, either one. It's you know what? Because we were talking about Myers earlier. That's
you
why.
Did.
Yeah.
He did not take a carrot cupcake, which I thought was weird.
We had a whole discussion
We had a
about
whole discussion.
him.
I don't know what's wrong. I hope he's okay because I know
It's
that
unlike him.
Yeah, exactly right. Our downtown camera right now, we got a lot of cloud cover out there, and the fog that is definitely reducing our visibility. Can even barely see down toward the bottom there around the inner harbor. So that is why this dense fog advisory remains in place through 11 o'clock this morning. That means reduced visibility, a little extra time as you make your way out on this Thursday morning. We are going to be mostly cloudy, but temperatures stay mild this Thursday and windy and much warmer tomorrow. Check out these numbers. A lot of us in the mid-50s this hour. We're going to stay that way over the next few hours on our Rise and Shine cast as well. We'll break down what we'll see for tomorrow and looking ahead toward the weekend in just a few. Tom?
All right, thank you, Mr. Oh, wait a minute, Chambers.
Easy.
See what I did there?
Easy.
Yeah. All right, taking a live look at the Beltway this morning here. We're seeing some more delays on the outer loop due to a crash in Catonsville. That's been cleared up, so you're starting to move along there. However, at 295 BW Parkway, there's still some major delays there. This morning, we are following new developments in the sweeping federal investigation into Baltimore City Council President Nick Mosby and his wife, City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby. For the second time this week, the couple's lawyer is sending a letter to the U.S. Justice Department pleading for the DOJ to suspend the probe into the couple's finances. Now, this time, Attorney Scott Bolden, seen here, is stepping up his rhetoric, calling the investigation vindictive and accusing the prosecutors of launching a smear campaign. So Elijah Westbrook is joining us live downtown with more on what this new strategy from the Mosby's lawyer is helping to create. Elijah?
Yeah, good morning, Tom. Like you said, this is now the second letter this week that the Mosby's defense team has sent to the DOJ, claiming that the government has launched what's called a smear campaign. And in that letter, they say, quote, it's in an effort to harass, degrade, even embarrass their client. Well, defense attorneys say government prosecutors have had a long-standing grudge against State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, which accused her office of leaking information during the federal prosecution of Baltimore's gun trace task force. Now, her defense team is calling on the Justice Department to immediately remove those same prosecutors from the investigation into Mosby's financial past. Now, in the 2018 state's attorney's race, Mosby faced two opponents. Campaign finance records show prosecutor Leo Wise contributed $100 to one opponent and then another $100 to the other. Well, two legal experts we spoke to question whether the strategy the Mosbys are putting forth will actually work.
Requesting that the Justice Department bring in substitute counsel is nothing more than strategy when you know that the person investigating you has a track record of 100% convictions.
He's already claiming to be a victim. If you have the facts on your side, you argue the facts. If you have the law on your side, you argue the law. If you have nothing on your side, you argue conspiracy. And she's chosen the last point.
Now, in that letter to the Justice Department, we are referring to Mosby's attorney writes, quote, because Mr. Wise was unable to remove State's Attorney Mosby from her elected position through his political contributions and false accusation of leaking information about the GTTF prosecution, goes on to say it now appears he has resorted to commencing a vindictive prosecution. This is not a coincidence, end quote. So far at this hour, the government has not responded to this request. Reporting live right now in Canton, I'm Elijah Westbrook, Fox 45 Morning News.
Here's Here's what we know about the investigation. Federal investigators have requested a wide range of financial documents related to the Mosbys dating back to 2014. Investigators also requesting records related to the couple's private businesses. Now we're learning of additional subpoenas. The Baltimore Sun reports a Baltimore children's charity called Muse 360 has been served, as well as a business associate of Nick Mosby. That's in addition to the subpoenas served to Marilyn Mosby's campaign treasurer and local churches that investigators believe the Mosbys contributed to. We want to know what you think. Should there be a process in Baltimore City to recall elected leaders? So far, about 99% of you say yes. You can weigh in by heading to foxbaltimore.com/vote.
Well, now to the path forward. Maryland's COVID metrics are on the rise. State now reporting 1,173 new positive tests, an increase of 62% since the last report. Positivity rate now up 4.59%, and hospitalizations also up. There are now above 900 patients in the hospital. It has not been this high since February 26th.
The more the virus spreads, the more it can change, and that is prompting concerns that the vaccine could become less effective. Rachel Aragon live in downtown Baltimore with how the state is tracking the different COVID variants and why it is so important. Rachel.
Patrice, good morning. There's concerns from doctors right here in Maryland that these COVID-19 variants could pose more of a threat. For example, maybe making people sicker, spreading faster, or probably even worse, possibly being immune to the new COVID-19 vaccination. Well, one of the biggest concerns here in Maryland is the UK variant. We know right now, also known as the B.1.1.7 variant. Now, the CDC has identified 3 variants of concern in the U.S. Maryland has detected 317 cases with those variants. 291 of those cases have been identified as that UK variant. Now, sequencing identifies which variant of the virus a sick person has. We've talked to doctors, including the acting deputy secretary of the Maryland Department of Health, and she tells us the state right now is sequencing about 700 cases a week.
Requires more highly specialized trained laboratory professionals to do. So it does take more time. And so the turnaround time on the sequencing can be 4 or 5 days.
Now, the state has used federal funding to buy specialized machinery to be able to sequence more tests. Now, Dr. Chan says the CDC's goal is for the states to sequence 10% of positive cases, which Maryland is doing right now. And there's currently talks to decide which of those positive cases they'll be sequencing in the near future. Reporting live from City Hall this morning, Rachel Aragon, Fox 45 Morning News.
Thank you, Rachel. The CDC is investigating cases of people getting infected with COVID-19 after they have been vaccinated. CNN reporting that the CDC is tracking the data and says cases are expected, just like all other vaccinations we've ever had. The study will examine these uncommon infections to make sure the vaccines are holding up against the variants, though. For help finding a vaccine, we've put together a comprehensive guide. And if you'd like to find it, just go to foxbaltimore.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination banner right at the top of your screen.
Researchers are studying what is called long COVID, cases with lingering effects months after a patient has recovered from the primary infection. A study from Dana-Farber Cancer Institute finds that 1/3 of hospitalized patients continue to experience symptoms, including fatigue and shortness of breath.
We did see a trend in terms of patients who required intensive care unit, who required oxygen supplementation during their stay in the hospital. They do seem to be at risk for long COVID. But recent studies have also shown that patients, in fact, who did not need hospital admissions may also suffer from these.
Another study from the UK found 7 in 10 hospitalized COVID patients had not fully recovered 5 months after they were discharged.
With some breaking news, President Joe Biden is set to face news media for the first time today since taking office. Megan Gillen is at the Breaking News Center with what we can expect to hear. Megan.
Tom, we're taking you live to the White House here this morning, where at 63 days into his presidency, this is the longest any new president has gone without holding a formal news conference. But today's the day. President Biden expected to talk about the passage of his COVID relief bill and the progress on vaccinations, touting that he's reached his goal of giving out 100 million vaccine doses in his first 100 days. and possibly announcing a new goal. Well, the president will likely also face scrutiny on gun control and immigration as well. The news conference, it's scheduled for 1:15 this afternoon. You can watch it live right here on Fox 45 on the WBFF mobile app or on any of our social media pages. That's the latest from our Breaking News Center. Tom, back to you.
All right, thank you, Megan. Now, in other political news, another big issue in Washington is the migrant surge at the U.S.-Mexico border. President Biden is asking Vice President Kamala Harris to be the point person for stemming the flow of migrants to the border. The White House also continues to get blamed for the immigration policies, which Republicans say are causing the surge. Sinclair National Correspondent Christine Frizzell reports.
At the White House, a high-level meeting for a high-level problem, the situation at the southern border, inundating more and more levels of government.
The best way to keep people from coming is keep them from wanting to leave.
The State Department now blasting out digital and radio ads, urging people from Central American countries not to come.
Guatemala es tu tierra, tu gente.
And now the Department of Defense has confirmed it's been asked to help house children in at least 2 U.S. military facilities in Texas. As the situation grows more dire, calls from lawmakers on Capitol Hill are growing louder, pleading with the Biden administration to take more action.
I know the Biden administration is saying they're doing this because they want to be more humane. They are guaranteeing inhumanity.
GOP lawmakers in a letter demanding answers about why some minors have been released into the country without court dates. This as 18 GOP senators prepare for a trip to the border in the coming days.
We're going down there to shine a light on the lives, the human tragedy of the failed Biden immigration policies and the Biden border crisis.
Also on Capitol Hill, Senator Lindsey Graham out with the Secure and Protect Act to make it much more difficult for any migrants to claim asylum, to extend the period of time children and therefore families can be held from 20 days to 100, and to stop allowing unaccompanied minors from remaining in the United States.
If you come to America, you're no longer going to be allowed to apply for asylum here. They want you to apply for, we want you to apply for asylum in your home country, particularly if you're a child. And if you show up on our border, we're going to send you back to your home country. You can apply for asylum there.
A new push for big changes to the U.S. immigration system, a system most in Washington agree is beyond overwhelmed. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
I don't want to bury my children in the streets of Baltimore.
A mother concerned about her son's future, troubling decisions he's made since schools went virtual and what she fears could happen to him if he's not back in the classroom.
Baltimore County now increasing vaccination efforts, especially in communities that are underserved. County Executive Johnny Olszewski will join us next with details. 7:12, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Good Day Baltimore.
We are back with you for extended coverage as we are all waking up to a weather alert day and bracing for just a complete day of winter weather. You're taking a look at our radar now. Snow and ice already coming down across the area. It has been for a long time now.
That's right, and we have live team coverage keeping you prepared and informed on today's winter storm system. Meteorologist Ashley Kramlich here in studio helping us track the storm and its latest totals now. Meteorologist Amy Aronson is out in it live in Rogers Forge.
Elijah Westbrook is live in Baltimore City. Rachel Aragon live in Harford County. Megan Gillen live in Carroll County with the latest on conditions there.
And it's the roadways that are getting the brunt of this. We begin, though, our coverage with meteorologist Justin Chambers, who's tracking this storm.
Yeah, good morning, Patrice and Tom. Good morning to all of you. Appreciate you being with us here live and local here. And we're doing that extended coverage. Typically, you'd be seeing 700 Club right now. So we are taking you through this weather alert day through noon. This is our Towson camera. Look at this. We are seeing more of that snow start to fall right there from our Mile 1 Auto Group camera. And that's what we've been seeing all morning long. A mixed precipitation, snow back to rain to freezing rain to sleet back to snow. It's gone all over the place depending on where you live. Winter storm warning still in place all the way through early tomorrow morning. Winter weather advisories for some of the eastern shore areas. This is our HD radar right now, and you can see that blue that has started to overspread through parts of Baltimore City and Baltimore County as well. Continuing to see that here as we move into the later part of the morning. And then the further south you go, that's kind of mixing over with some of that pink, but that pink changing to blue right there with the radar. So again, that's an indication that some of that snow is still here, and we still have more snow to go and more of that wintry precip over the next couple of hours as it continues to track in our area. This is our future scan here. Next hour, still going to be seeing that snow. By noon, could see more of that changeover. But what happens as we get to about 2, 3 o'clock is we get a break, and that moisture starts to move out, at least for this round. Then by about 8, 9 o'clock tonight, another round of those showers start rolling in, and this is going to be putting more snow and ice on top of what we're seeing right now into early tomorrow morning. So definitely going to be a weather alert day tomorrow as well. We're still holding on to 1 to 3 inches across Baltimore City and County, still 5 to 7 inches in our northwest counties for our overall snow totals. Jimmy, what's going on the roads right now? Good morning to you, sir.
I'm out here in White Marsh on Winkler Street, soon to become Forge Road as I approach 95. I'm like on a roller coaster. But Justin, this is what the side streets are looking at. Right now it's light snow falling. It was sleeting a couple minutes ago. And as I approach the bridge to go over top of 95, remember, bridges, overpasses, and ramps are going to be slick. And I'll tell you what, it's slick through here as I approach 95 here right now. We'll take a peek over there, Justin. But as you can see, the roads are covered. It's slushy and everything. Let's take a look down at 95. Okay, 95's moving along, but you know what? That's also not in real good shape. So if you got to go out, don't. Just stay home, folks. You have my permission. All right, I'll throw it back to you guys.
All right, Jimmy, thank you for the advice, and that makes a lot of sense as Baltimore City drivers are bracing for this dangerous driving conditions this morning. So what about if you're taking mass transit? We still need to get there. Elijah Westbrook is live in North Baltimore this morning showing us the sidewalks just in order to get down to a train station. Elijah?
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Tom. Well, right now we're live just right by the Woodbury Light Rail station stop. And like you said, just to get to the station, this is what you're going to have to manage to get through. Of course, the roadways are pretty bad, but the sidewalks are also pretty tricky to navigate as well. But we have Sarah here who was just making her way over this way. We just wanted to say hello and just see how your morning commute is. How has it been for you this morning?
It's very icy and getting worse by the moment.
Worse by the minute, by the second.
Yes.
So you were just making your way, I guess, from the Hamden area. You came this way across the light rail.
I live in the Woodbury area, and I was walking across the light rail to go to work. We chose to close today because it's just too treacherous.
Oh, so you guys are closed today?
We're closed today.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Sarah, thank you so much, and be safe out there. I know you have a lot to navigate through this morning, but yeah, take your time. Thank you so much. And we're also going to continue our live team coverage and send it over to Rachel Aragon, who's live in Harford County. Rachel, it's pretty bad down this way. How are things looking where you are?
Elijah, good morning. We still have that ongoing sleet here in Bel Air, and I've met 2 gentlemen here who are really plowing the roads. But tell me why you said earlier you're actually waiting a bit to plow before you keep going again.
So right now, our conditions, we wait till it's about 4 inches, and then we go ahead and push the snow out. We're at one of our locations right now, 7-Eleven, just waiting to see the accumulation. The snow's just switching over, so it's an icy, wintry mix right now. It's about to switch over to snow, so we're waiting to accumulate, and then we push out.
And I have to say, I've noticed you're wearing those glasses. It's smart because we're getting those ice pellets coming at our face. Is that why you're wearing that?
Yes, it is.
And okay, you don't have those. Why is that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm just a helper, man. I don't need it.
He's tougher than you is probably why he doesn't need it, right? We're tough. We don't need that.
I'm a soldier.
He's a soldier, so we don't need it like you. Lastly, what's the route? Where do you guys kind of prioritize where you're going to plow?
So we're doing our commercial right now, and then we're going to go hit our residentials. We go as far as up to Parkton, and then we have a big circle we run around here in Hunt Valley and yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, stay safe out there again and stay warm if it's even possible. But again, thank you guys so much. See, it's not just Fox 45 out here this morning in the snow and the sleet, but again, if you have to drive like these guys or essential workers, stay safe out there. Our Megan Gillen is still alive in Carroll County, and she's had a busy morning. Megan, what does it look like out there?
Rachel, it's still coming down. We left the Ed Valley area there, talked to some residents there who haven't even made it out of the driveway. We made it to our next very exciting hidden sledding gem here. This is Cape Horn Park. This is in, oh man, the Hampstead area. I picked the baby hill because I was scared. And apparently
This one might be a little too easy.
One thing, though, I will tell you is if you're brave enough to go on the other ones, you're going to be out here alone. This is bizarre. If anyone knows this Carroll County area, this place is normally packed when it's snowing, and this might be one of the reasons why. Rachel was asking what we're feeling. We felt the snow earlier. That's the happy snow. This is the mean snow, the angry snow, those ice pellets. We're feeling the same thing here. And another thing I want to make parents aware of, if you're thinking of coming out here, which so many people normally do, there are no roads. I mean, even the main roads, Route 30, which you take to get to here, is passable because the trucks have been, really working to make the most of that situation. But once you get into the park, which is normally plowed again because everyone comes through, my photographer and I had to actually follow the yellow stick plow lines to try and figure out where we were. It's hard to see where you're going. The back roads, the side streets, really bad. I think my photographer described it as treacherous at one point. This is not a happy situation, and it makes you understand why there aren't too many people out here. I figure this is a pretty good spot to take a measurement. The last time we did it was at my house, and we were looking at about 5 inches or so. So here is the Hampstead-Manchester line. Still about 5 inches, so not a whole lot of accumulation since what we saw, which wrapped up around 5:30 this morning. Now as we just have the ice and dangerous conditions out here this morning. Luke, help him up. It's cold. It's cold out here, and footing is tough, guys. Be careful. Stay in if you can. This is not the time to sled.
And now we're here in Towson, guys, and I've got a special little helper. Henry, say hi to everybody this morning. And he made us this very special sign, so he's been watching us all morning long. Are you ready to go try to play in this snow sleet mix?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is it doing right now? Is it snowing? Is it sleeting? What do you think?
It's snowing.
It's snowing? Okay, so let's go show, what are you going to show people? You're going to show people how to make a snow angel?
Yep.
Okay, why don't you take me down here and show us how to do it? Where do you want to do your snow angel?
How about right by mommy's car?
Okay, right by your mom's car. How about right over here in the grass? Is that a good idea?
Right there.
Right there? Okay.
Yeah, I think with my gloves.
Now, how do you do it? How do you make a good snow angel? You going to do it for us?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see it. Woo! Does it hurt? Because it's a little icy. Is it hurting to make one?
No, it's kind of cold.
It's kind of cold? You need some gloves on. You're okay. You want to say back to you?
It's cold.
It's cold. Okay, we're going to go get Henry some gloves, guys. So yeah, it is cold out here this morning. So he just found it perfect. And I think you can see by his face, not great. Snow angel. What do you think, Tom? Get that little boy some gloves. Poor little fella.
All right, so he's not hurt. He's actually having fun. I mean, you see him there. Look, he's running around at first. So we left the microphone on him and just let him go. Amy, you need to teach him how to do a real snow angel. Get him some gloves and teach him a real
I'll
one.
do that. Good job. High five. Woo!
All right, thank you, Amy. Well, from the front playgrounds of your yards here, we want to update you, though. While that was funny, it is really dangerous out on the roads this morning. In fact, Sherry Christian from the Maryland State Highway Administration is joining us right now. And Sherry, we're looking at, when you look at the traffic maps around the area here, the bands of snow that are coming through, and then immediately following the bands of snow, you start seeing the red diamonds popping up, showing that there's some traffic issues, crashes, collisions.
That's right. And that is why our message of safety remains the same. You guys have been telling folks all morning long, stay off the roads. If you can avoid travel on the roads, please do so because the conditions out there are treacherous.
Yeah, Sherry, we're talking about when we see how wide this is, just for the crew that you're dealing with, and we're pulling up different shots, there are so many vehicles, single vehicles, that have gone into guardrails or in the median here. There's multiple collisions, though, but majority of them are just like one person. And we've been watching this one car here in Cecil County. There's not even enough time for emergency crews to get to them because there's so many that you're dealing with here. What are you telling the crews that are out there? Are they plowing right now, or some plowing, some just dropping salt?
Our crews have their relentless plan of attack, depending on where they are. So in your area, we're seeing snow. They're going to wait, get that accumulation, and then push that snow off and then apply materials. And that's when you may even see our caravans, our plow caravans. You may see 4, and the first 3 are pushing the snow off, and then the last one is dropping the salt. And so that's part of our plan of attack, which is relentless. But it has to be because Mother Nature is, man. Now, two things we do focus on when we get these kind of conditions. Our focus goes to structures, bridges and overpasses, because they're going to freeze first, right? And then we focus on steep slopes. But everything else remains the same. Our plan of attack is that we are going to apply materials, and we're going to keep those roads clear as best we can.
Yeah, and just keeping people from driving is the best solution here, and let your crews deal with it. As we're watching right now live on 83, one of the state highway trucks pulling up to help somebody in their median there. So thank you so much for our updates and for all the work the crews are doing out there, clearing out these accidents and keeping people safe as much as possible.
My pleasure, and thank you all for getting the word out.
Well, right now we are live in the Woodbury neighborhood in North Baltimore, and be aware if you're going to be taking mass transit, this is probably what you're going to have to get through, at least to get to the light rail station stop. But we're going to tell you more about what it is you need to know before you head out the door this morning.
And we continue to follow this winter storm as it moves through our area, the amount of ice we could see on the roadways. You're watching Fox 45. Good day, Baltimore.
Fox 45 News, winner of 8 regional Associated Press Awards. Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Good Day Baltimore.
We are following 3 big stories for you this morning. Violence surging on city streets. Since Friday, 16 people have been shot. 5 of them died. What Baltimore's mayoral candidates say about stopping the violence.
The Senate is expected to confirm Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court later today. What senators from both sides are saying ahead of that crucial vote.
Today is the first day of early voting in Maryland. This is a live look outside of the Randallstown Community Center in Baltimore County. What you need to know if you plan on voting early and where you can go to vote. Welcome back. My goodness, 9:31 is the time. This has definitely gotten worse throughout the course of the morning. I'm Patrice Sanders.
I'm Megan Gilland. We have your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes.
Let's get over to Jonathan and talk about that forecast.
Yeah, the fog actually has increased a little bit here in coverage as we've worked our way into the early morning. About a mile of visibility all the way from Bel Air to Cockeysville, Baltimore, down to Annapolis, Easton, Denton, also Chestertown, and along northeastern Baltimore County and southern Harford County near the Bay. So keep in mind, you're going to have some dense fog to contend with. You're going to have to drive slow and use those low beam headlights. There's some rain north and west of us, even snow, a winter storm across the central portion of the country. Right now here we're on the lucky side, if you will. Temperatures in the 40s to around 50, and we have fog lifting here at 10 a.m. May take an hour or two longer, probably through about lunchtime. And then it warms up with peaks of sun into the 60s this afternoon. We'll take you through Halloween in a couple of minutes.
All right, let's look at the roadways and see what's happening out there. The 95-895 split, so far so good. There was trouble earlier in the day, but now everybody moving along just fine.
9:32, and in a city in crisis, violence surging over the weekend. 16 people shot, 5 of them killed. This is the latest scene right here. A 20-year-old man was shot there along Holabird Avenue in southeast Baltimore just before 7:30 last night. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Well, the violence started Friday night with 6 people shot, 2 people killed in 5 different crime scenes, including this fatal shooting on Cypress Street. Then, on Saturday, another 5 people were shot. 2 of them died. This was the scene of that deadly shooting on Eagle Avenue. And that brings us to last night. In addition to that shooting in southeast Baltimore, 5 other people were shot. 1 person was killed on Rogers Avenue yesterday. We spoke with some of Baltimore's mayoral candidates about how they would stop the violence.
When you ask the officers, they will tell you things started to change when we got away from community policing. We need to get back to that, not sometime soon, but now.
I'm going to focus on the hot people, which is the people committing the crimes, and the hot spots where it's occurring. We have to get to a point where people understand we're not going to tolerate this kind of behavior in our city.
Fox 45 also reached out multiple times to Democratic candidate and City Council President Brandon Scott. We didn't hear back. The last time he spoke to Fox 45 News about the violence in Baltimore was a month ago.
In your Vote 2020 coverage. Polling centers across the state are now open for the first day of early voting in Maryland. We have live team coverage this morning. Rachel Aragon is live outside of Camden Yards with a look at where you can cast your vote if you're trying to do that in the city. But we get started with Elijah Westbrook, who is live in Randallstown, where that line to vote is long and has been long since the early morning hours. Elijah.
Yeah, good morning, Patrice. I can tell you this area has been very active well before the polls opened up at 7 o'clock this morning. You would think today is actually the day of the election, but no, it's actually day one of the 8-day early voting period. And again, would you just take a look at this line here outside of the Randallstown Community Center? I'm going to take you just a little bit further down to my friend Orson here, who has been waiting since 7 o'clock this morning, 2.5 hours. Orson, good morning to you. How you feeling right now?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel great.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Why did you decide to come out and vote in person as opposed to just putting in the ballot drop box or just voting via mail?
I just wanted to see the masses that are gathering to bring about a change. So I came out here and joined them.
Yeah, and you're joined by hundreds, if not, I would say close to 1,000 people at this point. I mean, talk about that. I mean, this is certainly impressive, isn't it?
It's amazing. It's impressive. I guess I'm not the only one that needs change around here. And I'm glad to see that people are turning out in the masses.
Absolutely. All right, well, Orson, thank you so much. And you don't have that much longer to go, so power through, my friend.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
All righty, take care. All righty, well, again, that is just one of close to, I would say, 1,000 people who are waiting out here. We've been hearing that about 700 people have already went through the line there to go and vote this morning. We're going to go and continue our live team coverage and send it over to Rachel Aragon. She's in downtown Baltimore at Camden Yards with how things are going there. Rachel, good morning.
Yeah, Elijah, good morning. So people brought their music, they brought their chairs. They are ready to vote this morning. You can see the line trailing all the way down around the stadium. But this morning, though, we have some people who've been waiting for about an hour or so, I believe. And I'm going to have to ask you what we've asked everyone this morning. Why come out on day one of early voting and this early in the morning?
We wanted to make sure we were here and cast our votes, and it was very important to us. We wanted to be here.
Absolutely. And you guys brought your blankets, your chairs. Did you have to use them?
No, it wasn't too bad. We waited about an hour for my mom, so I get to catch up. So it's great. Yeah.
Good bonding time, and you get to do your civic duty and vote this election year. Again, lastly, though, tell me why in person? Do you normally go in person? Is that a tradition?
Traditionally, yes. Always the day, election day, but with everything happening, we just really want to make sure our votes.
Well, thank you guys so much. And again, this is one example of where you can vote this year, Camden Yards. But again, we have all the locations statewide and in the city listed on our website at foxbaltimore.com/newslinks. All right, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Rachel, thank you. We want to remind you, if you see voting irregularities or are denied access to cast your ballot, please contact the authorities and then report it to Fox 45 News. Call, text, or send a picture to 443-613-6327. You can also reach out to us on Facebook.com/Fox Baltimore. And Fox 45 News has gathered together a lot of information that you'll need as a voter. To check out our voter guide, go to foxbaltimore.com/vote2020. The Supreme Court is about to get a new member. The vote expected today, and what Democrats are doing to try to stop it from happening.
And a cool start to the morning. Rain on the way, and look at that fog. Meteorologist Jonathan Myers is tracking the next chance for showers. It's 9:37 on Fox 45. Good day, Baltimore.